everyone, to another episode of Business Way Outside the Box, a show sponsored by PR Works. We feature businesses that are unusual or have unusual ways of doing business. And if you know of one that you'd like to nominate for this podcast, please let me know. My contact information is listed below my picture. Today, we are going to be talking about bagels, bakeries, coffee, and a lot more. We have with us today Jerry Puiia, who has the unlikely background of having a mechanical engineering degree and an MBA from Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute, and he became a baker. So with that short intro, I'm going to bring you on, Jerry. How did you stumble into this business?
Well, it's funny. You never know where destiny is going to take you. And while I was working as an engineer, my father and my brother, who is my business partner, decided to get into this business in Hoboken, New Jersey, knowing absolutely nothing about the bagel business. And the first weekend that they were open, my wife and I decided to go down and check out what this crazy endeavor was that they were doing. Well, when we saw the operation, which was right across from the PATH trains in New York City, they were located in Hoboken, New Jersey, in 650 square feet. First weekend they're open, there's a line out the door, and we're like, oh my God, this is a license to print money. So my wife and I were thinking about, what are we going to do here? Maybe we should bring something like this to Connecticut, which did not have any bagel shops like you see today. Mm-hmm. So we talked it over, and we decided to give it a shot. So in July of 1990, can't believe it's over 30 years now, but in July of 1990, we decided to go into the business. Again, not knowing anything about it, just like my father and brother. Well, over those years, my brother ultimately moved up here, and we had expanded via franchising because we had wanted to become the next bagel king in the country. And, a lot of stuff and stumbling blocks occur along the way. So one of the things we found out, I remember our attorney was explaining to us, once you get 10 franchise locations, you pretty much have it made. Well, when we hit 11 locations, we were like, all right, this is going to work out just fine. What she didn't tell us was sometimes you go below 10 and above 10 and below 10. Well, we vacillated for a number of years. But while we were still always trying to franchise, all of a sudden, the branded name Between Rounds and our bagel products caught on, and we started getting involved in the wholesaling business. And over the years, and it's funny, I'm going to fast forward because 30 years is a long time to kind of go over in about 12 minutes. We realized, my God, our name has value. And we are in probably 30 plus supermarkets with some of the big boys. And I'm talking like, a whole bunch of IGAs, but Big Y supermarkets, ShopRite supermarkets. And we're still trying to get into Stop and Shop. That's one on our goal. They're a little bit harder, but we're going to keep working on them. But our thing is we want to get these bagels out there into people's homes as branded Between Rounds bagels.
And so let me ask you, Jerry, when I walk into my supermarket, I see pretty bad bagels that are basically sandwich bread that is circular. But they try to make bagels. What convinces them to carry yours as opposed to have them made and sourced within their own bakery?
Well, my brother Joe handles all our bagel production, and he is very anal about making sure that every bagel that goes out of here has his blessing. And when I tell you that our consistency, both in taste and look and texture, is there, I mean it. So when you put our bagels next to a competitor's bagels, it becomes a very easy decision for the grocery store managers and owners to realize this is a superior product. And, as you say, like success begets success. So as we get into more and more grocery stores, it's getting more and more easy to, promote our product. I mean, simply it's a function of, ShopRite carries it or Big Y carries it. All of these other major IGAs, and I'm talking chains that are 6-7 stores large, it kind of gets a little bit easier. So we're very consistent. We're very concerned because what we do is we deliver the product frozen, fully baked, thaw and serve. So on the part of the grocery store, there's very little work to be done. You just basically take them out, display them, and sell them. And we've been told that within the bakery departments, we are one of the most profitable items. That helps them sell.
Sure. And tell me, so you had a lot of success with wholesaling. You've got 4 retail locations throughout Connecticut as well. What are some of the bumps in the road beyond, the challenges of franchising that you experienced and then obviously survived and thrived?
Well, one of the things that starts to happen as you start selling more and more product is you get bottlenecked, and you got to realize you got to grow. And in order to grow, you got to invest more money. And we just invested in a new double rack oven, double proof box to basically double the capacity. So, in addition to the single rack ovens, we are now with a double rack oven. And to give you an idea of capacity, we can do in that one oven 45 dozen bagels in 15 minutes. And that has been a big help. So, when you talk about the stumbling blocks, you got to be able to grow in a controlled manner so that the amount of money you're putting into the business can be recouped by new business.
Right. Okay. Great. And so I've got to ask you, favorite bagels? People would assume maybe just a regular plain bagel. What's the biggest selling bagel you have?
The everything bagel
Yeah.
that has salt, poppy seeds, sesame seeds, garlic, onion. That's very popular. The cheddar bagel, where we take a thick slab of cheddar cheese melted onto the bagel. And the latest one that we're running right now is the jalapeno cheddar bagel, which has jalapeno peppers blended into the dough, then laid on top of the bagel, and a thick slice of cheddar cheese melted on top of that.
Oh, sounds good. And so I know that you have a lot of innovative products in your 4 locations. It goes well beyond bagels. There's lots of baked goods. There's lots of different kinds of drinks, salads, sandwiches. How did you grow your product line within the stores themselves?
Well, coming out of New York City, it kind of evolved into, well, what would we like to buy? So that's where that came from. But I'll tell you one of the other novel things that we offer in the store, and that is giftware. We got into offering mugs and different, I call them humorous items that don't go stale, so you don't have to have a one-day shelf life on them. But I mean, you can come in and we watch people while they're ordering or after they've ordered and waiting for their food. They read the different expressions on the different mugs and gift items we have, and you can see them chuckle. And it's not unusual to see these people come in at the holidays and they'll spend $100 and not buy any food. That's unique for a type of business like ours,
Right. And I know that your location, sometimes you even feature local art. You're involved with the community.
We try to. We have 2 artists that we're featuring now. One is a painter. The other is a photographer. What we've done is we've allowed them to display their items in our stores, and whoever has an interest can contact them and purchase the items. And I know we've had actually a couple of people buy some of those pieces.
That's great. And so let me go back to your engineering background. Was that helpful in setting up the bakery, or does it just give you a more sort of pragmatic mind in approaching business?
We are all a product of our past experiences. So it takes everything that has occurred in your life to get you where you are and to take you where you want to be. So do I draw upon it? Maybe I don't remember the mathematical formulas, but I still have the thought process of an engineer. And if there's a problem, there's a solution. So don't complain about it. Sit down and figure it out.
Okay, yeah, no, that's a good explanation. And I would assume because you guys have had success, other people are looking at you and trying to emulate what you do. Do you find that there are other competitors now trying to do something similar?
Probably. Yeah, of course, there's always out there someone's always trying to catch what someone else is doing. And not to say that they can't do it better, but it keeps us on our toes. So we're always looking over our shoulder, but by the same token, we are worried about what we do and we want to do it well. Give you an example of something. We were contacted, maybe 4 or 5 months ago by a dairy farmer that started to get into the home milk delivery business because dairy farms were having their own economic problems. And his business started to grow where he was actually not only delivering milk like the old milkman used to do, but he was delivering cheese and maybe bread and other types of staples that people would have an interest in. Well, he polled his customers and they had said, hey, we'd like to have bagels delivered. Well, he called us because he's in the next town over from us. The name of the company is the Modern Milkman. Contacted us, and we have a relationship that is incredible because our volume has expanded tremendously. His reputation for carrying good quality products and including our bagels have helped him in his growth plans. It is a win. Even the customer, they're basically getting our bagels now home delivered. It has been a win-win, and this is all a function of our being in business for so long and having such a great reputation in the community and being able to satisfy a new customer for whatever his volume needs are.
Well, and so there's a business story about how LL Bean was concerned about putting retail stores in towns where they already had really good catalog sales. And what they found was that in those towns, both the catalog sales rose as well as the stores did quite well. Are you finding that by having your brand out in a lot of supermarkets, that it reinforces your retail store sales as well?
Tremendously. And I can tell you, and this is funny because, hey, we know there's a pandemic going on. So volumes are kind of hard to read right now. But we are now getting more inquiries than ever about franchising. And my brother and I, we kind of laugh about this because we are so busy with the wholesale production right now, where for years we were trying to get busy with the franchises, that we joke and we say, now you're looking at franchising? Now you want to buy franchises? But we're able to do it and we want to do it. We want to see our brand grow. And I think both will lead to success, both the wholesale items in the grocery store, building the brand awareness, and then the franchise locations.
Okay. And so from a franchise standpoint, is the prospect, does that person need to have some baking experience? What kind of person are you looking for?
Well, I'll tell you, we have a couple of programs. One is for the person that is doing a full-up retail store. The other is for this niche market that we're going after, which is in the gas station convenience stores. So our ideal person is somebody who has some entrepreneurial drive, who has a concern about making sure that the customer is treated well, good service, and good fresh product. They don't have to have experience baking. But if you're an operator that, a lot of these gas station convenience stores, they have lost their Subways or their Dunkin' Donuts and they need a replacement. This is perfect for them. And it's not that expensive to get into. So we're not looking for somebody with baking experience. We're just looking for somebody that values working hard for a good return.
Okay. And are there other things that you guys are looking at as long range plans of how you will continue to grow your business?
Well, at this point now, what we're trying to see is if we get bigger, we may need another facility to do the bagel production. When we first started, we were always doing raw frozen dough for which those bagels then get baked in the retail stores. Now we're doing the full frozen, fully baked thaw and serve product. It takes more manpower, so we've had to hire more people. It takes more space, more freezer space, refrigerator space, production space, and actually packaging space. So the next boundary that we have to cross is, okay, at what point do we need to get a bigger facility to manufacture bagels? And that's our biggest stumbling block.
Okay. And what would you say to somebody 30 years ago who said, here's where you are today?
Even I can't believe where we are today.
Yeah.
I mean, I look in the mirror and I'm like, wow, has it been 30 years? I can tell you this, it happens one day at a time. And then you turn around and you're like, wow, how'd that happen? So it's a trip. It really is. And, it's a shame that you start to appreciate it after 30 years, because I'd like to do another 30, and you never know.
You never know. Okay. And so, Jerry, how can people reach you if they have interest in wholesale and franchising, or even learning more about, how to find your retail locations? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Okay. Well, our website is www.betweenroundsbagels.com. My email address is Jerry with a J, Jerry, at betweenroundsbagels.com. You can certainly call our corporate office. That number is 860-291-0323. Or you go to any Between Rounds location and you ask to speak to Jerry, and somebody will make sure that I can get back to you. So we'll reach you. We will reach you.
Okay. Well, great. It was fun to talk to you. I appreciate it. I look forward to dropping in and getting some bagels again and enjoying them again. Thank you for being our guest. This has been another episode of Business Way Outside the Box, a podcast run by PR Works. If you know of somebody who is way outside the box or runs their business that way, please let us know, and we'll see you next time. Take care.